etc. If you know the how do I say, enchanted flute of Mozart, all the story of this opera is a story about initiation. It is take according to the transformation in the masonry of very ancient model of initiation of the mystery of Isis. And everything in the opera of Mozart is taken from the mystery of Isis, as those mysteries have been conserved and transformed in different traditions, and mainly in Masonic tradition. You know that Mozart himself did belong to a Masonic lodge. The Zarastro in the opera is the transformation of the name of Zarathustra, this is not by chance. It's very interesting about the history of the mystery itself in modern Europe. How the name of Zarathustra, Zoroaster, that is a representative of a religion which has been maybe the only one antique religion which was not destroyed, not totally destroyed by the monotheism, by the Judeo-Christian and later Islamic monotheism, and which remains apart, small remaining, but there are still today people belonging to Zoroastrian religion. But the name of Zoroaster, this very interesting, is like haunting the modern tradition. Think Mozart, Zarathustra, and Nietzsche, Zarathustra, and in between another Zoroaster which is mainly unknown and in a very, very strange place, that is in Kant, because in a posthumous writing of Kant, you can see this project of a title which is almost Zoroaster, or the unity of theoretical and practical man presented in one figure. That has been a project of Kant, and it seems so far, from Kant, from the mind of Kant. So the insistence of the name of Zoroaster, I would say, is an insistence through our tradition of like the memory, of course, a vague memory of something that did belong to a world and practice of initiation and then of mystery. So then back to the opera of Mozart, you can see how both the young men, that is the Prince Tamino and the bird hunter and seller Papageno, are going through the trial, which have to do with the element, with the fire, the water, and the air, and to go through in order to become able to know, first to know the truth, to understand, for example, that the Queen of the Night was not good but evil, and that Zarathustra, the Prince of the Sun, was not evil, as it was said at the beginning, but good. But it is shown in the opera, the Prince Tamino succeeds, but the ordinary, vulgar man Papageno doesn't succeed until the end. But it is a kind of rescue by Tamino for Papageno. And of course, at the end there is love. love, it's a permission to love, and for Tamino to love Tamina, for Papageno to love Papagena. And, well, this action of the initiation, this process, one could say, has entirely its value in the process itself, in processing. The final value, the final meaning of that all is not the end, is not to come to the end, but to go through all the way and the trial which are disposed before them. Of course, there is an end, and once again, I will come back to the end. But first, I will insist on the fact that the process, the way is more important than the end, or at least there is no end without the way. But pay attention to that. That in all the philosophy, from Plato until us, this kind of axiom, there is no end without a way, is all the time there. All the time is at work in philosophy. Hegel states truth is a result according to the way, or not according there, with the mediation of the way, which means there is no result without the way. And then I will not tell the whole history of philosophy to show that to you, but you can do that by yourself. But think just of what is at stake with Plato. As you know, to take this thing which is central in Plato, that is to go out of the cave and to go up on the mountain. This going up is to become a philosopher. After that, there is a philosopher who comes back to the city. That's another story. And as well in Plato, you can see something about the end. What happened at the summit of the mountain? It happened that the one who comes there see the light itself, not only the real thing. You know, in the cave you have the shadows. Out of the cave you have the things, from which the shadows are projected in the cave. But on the top of the mountain, you have the light, it's the sun. And when you see the light, you see nothing. You are ébloui. Blind, yes, kind of blindness. So, I think what Plato did there with this blindness in the presence of the sun, first, you can find it regularly along the history of philosophy. For example, in Descartes, who maybe can be shown as the last to be related to something like mysterious. The evidence, it's called evidence, not evidence in the English meaning. The self-opening of the ego. You know, Descartes had doubt about everything, about the existence of the world, but I cannot doubt of the fact that I am myself doting on everything, and then that, I say, right, ego sum, I am. The I am is something no skeptic can fight against that. This I am, which in a way comes from Augustine, and that is once again Augustine, but later I will speak about Augustine. The I am is blind, and Descartes says that himself. Descartes writes, there is no proof for this. We don't have the word to translate what we Descartes say evidence. It's evident. In English, evidence is proof. And what is self, or in a way, so it is self-evident. It is a proof of itself. You can say that. So the self-evidence is precisely without any evidence. And Descartes writes, in an answer to a question, he writes, if you don't have it, I can't do nothing for you. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember exactly the context. It is almost as if he would write, it is not sure that you are a human being, because a human being cannot but understand that I am. But understanding that I am, I understand, anyway, nothing. Well, and it would be easy to describe all the process which come before the I am, the process of the first meditation. So I do my best to take out all the external world, all my body, even the fact that maybe I am dreaming. No, so I take all things. It is like a succession of certain kind of trial, yes, because I have to not to pay attention and not to believe my judgment that there is something out of me, until the point where I get this self-evidence I have, and after that I will take some consequences for that. Well, so I could go further with other philosophers. This is only one, I would say, one branch of the history of the mystery. It's not by chance. Not by chance, the mystery as the process going toward an end, which is not an end as a result, as a final meaning which resolves everything, but much more an end which is the starting point for something else, for another, I would say, another journey. It is a journey, one could say, into the darkness of the light itself. That is the true meaning of mystery. And then, if we come back for a short while to the antique mystery, we can say that just taking two examples. When the mist comes to the end, and when the end is like it is, on the painting of Pompeii, where there is you know, the so-called mystery house. So we say the Villa des Mystères, where you have the painting of several moments, several stations in the initiation process, and you see the mist with a veil on the face, and at the end you see what is unveiled for him or her, and it becomes a depot, and that is a phallus. The phallus called fascinus, as a Latin, fascinus, and fascination. There is a whole history in language says that is what is fascinating is fascinus, and that is a phallus. Well, but the phallus and the unveiling the phallus is not unveiling the last thing, as to say, well, you know, the secret of everything is a phallus. Much more, the phallus is the beginning of, again, one could say, of the mystery. That is precisely what is the phallus. What is at stake with the phallus? I think when Lacan takes phallus as a name for symbolic function of the, or one could say of the archi-symbolic function, Lacan is still, I would say, accorded with all the tradition where the phallus, which you know, has been very important in many ancient traditions before the Roman, for example, in Egypt, where they built enormous phalloi. The phallus is nothing else than the mystery of the reproduction of life. And maybe, or I think even more, because the mystery of reproduction and mystery of desire, and of the desire as in the extent the desire is related to reproduction, but going further and apart of reproduction as well. Maybe in the coming days, and I will come back to that. And there is a phallus in other mystery, and maybe it is more related to Indian things, but it could be the female sex, of course, male, female sex, or sex. So sex, the sex itself discovered, unveiled, I would say when it is not pornography, it is mystery, and it is absolutely not an end, but the starting point of what you want, as well, of course, of an action, of the sexual action, but more of that, more, yes, or more than that, and more through the sexual action itself. Sex names a mystery which is precisely the mystery Freud again is going toward, and absolutely not resolving it, despite the fact that Freud seems maybe to resolve it, but it doesn't resolve it, because at the core of the sexual action there is not only the final eventual reproduction, but with or without reproduction there is something else, that is the desire, and the fact, as Freud himself states, that something which is in the tension, then for Freud, which is necessarily in a way painful, because for Freud the absolutely end of any kind of pain is the end of the tension. Then Freud asks the question, how it is possible that something which is in the tension is at the same time a pleasure. But I will not stay too long with that, but I just want to say that for Freud, this question about what he calls the preliminary pleasure, before the end pleasure, which is at the end of the tension. So preliminary pleasure is, or has, for Freud, exactly the same position as the aesthetical form. And he says that, he writes that. He writes that in a note in the three essay to the theory of sexuality. He writes, I have examined a very homologous case with the aesthetical form, that is in the book about joy. So, this is very interesting, because the mystery for Freud is at the same, the mystery is almost the same in sexuality and in aesthetics at a place where there is no end, where there is a tension. And the tension, I would say the tension for itself, the tension not towards the end of tension, but in a way the tension for the tension itself. Of course, in Freud, there are some way, or he does his best to resolve some problem in his way. But nevertheless, at the end, precisely there is no end for Freud itself, at the end he says the artist know much than we do. I think he could have said the sex knows more than we do. The sex, not the artist of sex, and not the sex of the artist, but something, yes, in which I would say both are crossing themselves, but it's another matter, which later. It's just to say that even in the most well-known case of the antique mystery, where the final stage of the initiation was the unveiling of the phallus, the unveiling of the sex is nothing else than the unveiling of another veil, if you want. And maybe I would say this is the first, the first character we can give to the mystery. The mystery is never the unveiling of a secret, which is at the end totally unveiled, like in an ordinary mystery novel. At the end, yes, he committed the crime and finished. In the mystery, there is never a final unveiling, and only maybe the unveiling of another veil which can be unveiled toward another veil, etc., etc. There is something infinite at stake in the mystery. Well, an analogy status way or metaphoric way in Masonry or in, for example, in the sort of novelist who wrote a text about it. And the mystery of Isis has this peculiar, interesting aspect that, you know, at the end of the initiation, the mist was supposed to unveil the face of the goddess of Isis on a statue. But he was alone for doing that. The last act of the initiation was alone with the statue in a separate place. And there are, there was all the time different versions about what he or she, and it was mainly men at this time, but what he or she see. Different versions, that is, first version, it was the face of the goddess, but it was strictly forbidden to speak about this face after the initiation. Strictly forbidden not only to take a picture with a camera or by drawing, but even by memory. It was forbidden to tell what you have seen. The second version is, or was, that it was nothing to be seen, just an empty place, or either a statue without a face, without a head, or a head without a face, so nothing to see. Or, third version, that is that the mist becoming the airport, see his or her own face, himself or herself. And as you understand, there are three possible versions, but there is no contradiction between them. It can be the same, to see the goddess, to see nothing, to see myself. And then the different versions are only different interpretation, different way of having relation to the mystery. And in each of the version, there is a forbidden goddess, emptiness, or the selfness. Something remains still open in the Mysteria and as a mystery. I would say the only, to say that in that way, the only real thing, the only object would be the face of the goddess, but precisely it is the forbidden object. The two other are not really object. Either nothing or the subject himself. So in the three way, there is something which not only is not a revealed secret, but is if it is a secret, it is a secret which open to another secret behind. That is, which is, what is, who is the goddess, or what is in the emptiness, as the emptiness, and who am I? And the three together, you can go from am I the goddess or the divine itself? Am I the emptiness, or the emptiness is me, etc. Maybe that has to do with something of the mystery of Trinity, of which I will now speak a little more. So you see, with the second case of the antique mystery has all the time at least something more than the revelation. That is, the revelation, the unveiling, never stops with the unveiling. On the contrary, one could say everything starts at this point, or the very starting point is this end point where the unveiling unveils that there is something more, and maybe something infinitely more, something which invite or appeals to go infinitely further in the goddess, in the emptiness, in the selfness. And maybe this is something from that which Heidegger, remember when Heidegger takes, the word, the Greek word aletheia, to speak about truth. Aletheia, Heidegger not interprets it, it's true, the word as precisely unveiling, out of the veil. But, and what Heidegger insists on is that the aletheia is only an unveiling if it is at the same time a veiling again. Unveiling and veiling is the rhythm, and I could say the battement.
Beating?
The beating, yes, beating. Beating of the truth. Something is open and closed at the same time, unveiled and veiled. And I will not dare enter thinking of Heidegger, but I want to remember that this idea of truth in Heidegger is explicitly introduced in opposition to the common, ordinary idea of truth as adequatio. That's the scholastic name of adequatio, that is adequatio, as it is said in the scholastic, adequatio rei et intellectus. The truth as adequation between something and the understanding. I understand something right, that this is the truth. I say the truth about something. I say this is a piece of paper, this is a piece of paper, or I can say this is a piece of paper of 21 centimeter and 12 centimeter. These tools. These tools has an adequation that is a correspondence, a relation between two terms, but the relation between the two terms is a relation that can be verified. I can make a verification from this adequation, which implies, of course, that there is somewhere, in some manner, a way for the verification. For example, mathematical way. I can measure the piece of paper and I can say, yes, it's right, it is 21 centimeter, etc. Or yes, it's right, it is a piece of paper, that is, it is not a piece of wood, of skin. But we understand, I think, from the first moment when we start to speak about the tools in that way, we understand that this the necessity of a criterion, of a third instance to where the tools can be related, and by where, or by which the tools can be verified, measured. This third instance, this verification, cannot apply to the tools that nevertheless we know very well. The tools are without verification, which is the tools, to say simply, the tools of your presence. Something is there, is present there. In a certain way, it is all the time the case. I don't have to verify that the glass is here. Or I enter the process of Descartes, and I can argue it is not certain that the glass is here, not certain that everything is here. But at the last moment, something will be certain, that is that I am, as I said this morning. And then from this I am, and from this I am, I can, and this is what Descartes does, I can come back to the existence of everything, having in me the criterion of the truth, that is, of the verification of everything. But if I do not consider the world of a world of object, from which the presence can be related to the kind of certitude, certainty, or but much more can be referred only to itself. This is here. This is here. As a mountain is here, and we are here. Then the process is no longer a process of verification. For instance, I can take you as object present in the class. I may want to verify if you are really a material body present in the class. I can't do that. I can't even measure you, your weight, right, whatever. Well, are you present?
Yes.
Yes, I exist.
The question is, who are you asking?
Someone's upset. So in what way are you intellectually present? Here I don't have to make such a verification, but you know, when if you were little girls and boys in the small classes, I would have to verify. Are you listening to me, what I have said? He or she cannot say because you are thinking to something else. So, well, but if we go a little further behind the intellectual attention, presence, what is the presence of somebody? How is somebody present? What is the presence? You know, we use, I think in English, like in French, the word presence to speak of somebody. We say somebody is a, we would say, I think, is really present. Or sometimes maybe it's a strong presence. Yes, some people have a strong presence, some doesn't have strong presence. Or the same people can have a strong presence at a certain moment, and if a weak presence at another time. What is this presence? Which is not only an attention which can in a certain way be measured, but which is much more something we feel. I feel that this person is present. And then I would no longer say that he or she is simply present, but he or she is present too. That is in a way, is presenting himself or herself to us, or to the landscape, to the nature. Is, I would say, yes, like through a kind of drive, is this dog itself, or pushed itself, exposed itself toward the rest of the world, or to another people, to me. That is the presence. And we know what the most intense presence is. This is a presence of, this is not a presence of intellectual attention, understanding, and that's all. This is a presence of feeling, and not only something that I feel, but something that the other is feeling, and a feeling which is transmitting something from itself to me. Can be a feeling of interest or disinterest, of love or hate, sympathy or antipathy, empathy. In any way, it is the presence of a kind of moving. I would say there is only a real, a strong presence if something is moving. And moving, I would say, in all the meaning of moving, because there is no emotional, affective moving without a physical moving. Even if this physical moving is not to be seen, even less to be measured, but by feeling, by being in what's called emotion, that is motion, a way of moving, of movement. Something is moving somewhere. Well, if it is a moving of, I don't know, of millimeter, you know, there is a moving. That is, once again, that is a vibration. We know that in a sense very well because in the cinema we are accustomed to see people in a think about so many images in the cinema, people in the looking each to other in the hate or in love. And what is given to be felt by us is a vibration going through the eyes, the entire gesture, or even without gesture, but the gesture as a vibration of an entire body through the eyes, the face, etc. So we very well know what is at stake here. And what is at stake is nothing else than a kind of mystery. For this mystery, we use the name of love or hate, but precisely love or hate is nothing that can be verified, not to speak of pleasure, because it is not a thing, despite the fact that there are yes, some things that disposition, to be positive, to be gentle, but all that is in the case of love, of course, and the contrary in the case of hate. But if we are really in the case of love or hate, and not in the case of to be polite and polite to be kind, but really entering love, or not only to be not very happy to be with this one, but very in hate. So we know that we enter under those names, love or hate. We enter something which goes so far that it can go toward, if not into, but toward the movement to go into the other, or to take him or her totally out of place, that is, to kill him or her. And maybe, but I will not now enter the terrible ambiguity between, or when head between the gesture of enter the other or taking the other into me, or in both cases, to, I can say yes, to love him or her, or to destroy him or her. And the impossibility to really distinguish between both. So this is another question. But come back now to the presence. The presence, the real presence, the truth of a presence, or I would say the truth as presence, is an emotional one. But emotional here doesn't mean a sentimental one. It is moving, but not moving, yes, in a sentimental way, which doesn't mean that that sentiment, feeling, are to be taken out. There is a terrible ambiguity with feeling between sentimentality and I don't know what term to take. Emotionality, but you understand this ambiguity belongs to all the terms here. Emotion, vibration, and everything is ambiguous, that is, everything can, I would say, can fall into the meaning of sentimentality, that is to say the things most directly, that is emotion, moving, vibration, yes, giving pleasure or displeasure. And on the other side, emotion which goes beyond pleasure or displeasure. That is, which goes beyond any kind of satisfaction or dissatisfaction. And that is love or hate has, in a certain way, nothing to do with satisfaction or unsatisfaction. Which, of course, will not say that love will be unsatisfied and hate satisfied. No, it belongs to another order. And to keep the purpose of mystery, this other realm, which doesn't belong to satisfaction, unsatisfaction, and doesn't belong to verification, is the realm where something, somebody is in the coming toward, coming out, or two people are coming to each other. But two people, but tell me, why not a people and an object? What happens when Chardin or Cézanne paint what we call still life? It happens is, I think this very mysterious motion that not only Chardin or Cézanne, if we suppose that a subject, a person called Chardin or Cézanne, is moved toward the object, the cup, the fruit, you know, this wonderful fish in Chardin, but I don't know the name in English, l'arrêt. You see the enormous fish in Chardin on the wall. This fish which looks like a triangle. No?
Skate.
Oh, skate or ray?
No, ray, you say ray.
Ray.
The French is l'arrêt.
That's the
The
right.
ray of Chardin is an extraordinary still life. Still life in the ray is dead, of course. It's hanging on the wall and with his mouth open. And there is, as well as all the commentary says, something sexual with this ray. And there are other fish and yes, if I remember well, there is a cat, a living cat on the board on the ray. So what happened is not only that the painter is moving himself toward the thing, but the things themselves are moving toward him. This is like with the line of Matisse. Of course, if you prefer, you can say this is a painter who makes the things moving. Yes, okay. But who is the painter? Where is the painter? The painter here is as well in the way a thing, how the thing can as well be only a color or a shape with a color. Shape and the color, the form, the line and the color are moving and coming toward the painter, toward us, toward a look that a gaze that can come and receive this coming out. This is maybe what the so-called abstract painting made visible, and I would say made acting in the history of painting. When Pollock makes his draping, it is not that Pollock is making that to have drops of painting going on the floor. No, it is that at the same time his gesture give to the line and the dash.
Brush?
The brush.
Dash.
The brush?
Dash, spot
Dash.
or stain.
Stain.
Dash, spot or stain.
Stain, yes, and the stain of color, they give them possibility to emerge and to come as such and to be seen as such. Well, then I just wanted to say that in the mystery there is a truth at work. And maybe there is the truth as aletheia, not the truth as adequatio, but the truth as aletheia. This is certainly why a person is a mystery. But what is not a mystery? An animal a mystery. And the tree is a mystery. The mountain is a mystery. And.
Mhm.
The world is a mystery. And maybe one thing could, at first glance, appear not to be a mystery. That is a technical thing. This should not be a mystery, or if I say this is a mystery because I don't understand how it works, that's not a mystery. Or the camera, I don't either understand how it works, especially the digital camera is even more complicated for me than the analogic one. But that's not a mystery. That is the theory of the kind of, if you want, secret. There are secret for me, which are not secret for people knowing how it works. But the fact that human people are able to conceive of such things and to conceive of tools which are no longer tools, but which are, in a certain extent, independent tools, which fascinate us. This is why we are so often speaking about artificial intelligence. This fact, this is a mystery. What are we doing when we are doing that? That is, when we are technicians, which we are not since the age of informatic, of cybernetic, but we are from the age of Neolithic. What is that? That is maybe nothing else than the mystery of what? The mystery? Not the mystery of the, I don't know if I can say the ingenuity, no, ingenuity, don't say that.
Ingenuity?
Engineering, but engineering, ingenuity, which means the way to be very clever, very in founding technical
Okay,
means.
ingenuity.
Engineering.
Ingenuity, yeah, ingenuity.
Ingenuity.
I-N,
Ingenuity.
yeah, not engineering.
Okay, ingenuity. So, but we are so much accustomed to all the techniques in general, or technology, as it's said in English, that we are only able to say, oh, there is a problem with technology, we have to have a good use of that and not a bad use. Okay, but why? Why do we have this question about technology, which makes a lot of problem, of ecological problem? And why is ecology today mainly a technological problem? Because we cannot change something to, I don't know, to the problem about water, about ozone, etc., without new technical means, etc. So where is the mystery? The mystery is, in a certain way, is very simple. The mystery is that we are giving to, not only to us, but to the entire universe, we are giving goals which are themselves without end or without goal. our goals are more and more goals opening or becoming means for other goals. For example, to go faster and faster, transmitting the information all the time faster and faster. How is that a goal? Why? We don't know. Yes, we can say, yes, it is better because I can right now know the Dow Jones. And this is very useful for a certain goal, which is to make money, if I am a trader. But why make money is a goal? Because with money I can do that and that, more and more. That money is a goal only because it is a mean for everything. Then so I could go further because the money is a mean for everything, but everything taken as equivalent value, everything in the exchange of everything. But this is another problem. I just want to say that when we speak of technology as something that would be strange to us, dangerous, or at least problematic, and we have no other answer to the problem than to say, we have to make a good use, but we don't know where the good is. I take an example that I like much. We have today medical means to make the life of many people in the developed countries very long and more long. What is so good with a long life? Huh? You smile. Because you think this is a stupid question. You know? You see? No, this is a real question.
Beats the alternative.
Excuse me?
Better than the alternative.
The alternative is what? A short life? No. That is something else. This is another question. If the end of the life is some kind of murder by justice, state, by war, or by crime, this is something else. This is another level of problem. What I want to say is just that we all agree that it is better to have a little longer life, of course. But if you ask to the doctors and to the whole technology of that, why is that good? They don't know. They are not there to say why it is good. And it is good to have the most possible people living the most long life. Maybe, but our society and our way of thinking, our philosophy, our religion, even if not, have no answer to give to that. There is only a kind of once again self-evidence again of this extension of life. And we don't know what we want to do with this new goal that we invented in a certain way recently. Of course, it was all the time a dream of mankind not to die. But not to die, I would say, is something else than to live infinitely. Not to die is to escape the end of the life. That is a impossibility to know even what happened with that, with death. Okay. And maybe there is no way of thinking without addressing this question of death, question of finite existence. But the answer is certainly not to say that a long life is better than short life. Because even if it is true, what kind of truth, we will all the time have to face the very short life of a few days, a few hours of life, of the baby dying just after his birth, for example, or the death at 25. What does it mean? Maybe that doesn't mean nothing. But a long life by itself means nothing as well. Maybe we have to discuss the lack of meaning. Maybe we have to confront the absence of meaning of life. But you understand that it is another thing to say we have the means to give long life to people and that has no meaning, or the way to say we have the means to give a long life to people and that has the meaning, the true meaning of what? Of the long life. As if life would be equal to 70, 80, 90, 100 years. Of course, a life of more than 100 years. Yesterday, Claire told me that Manuel de Oliveira, you know, the filmmaker, is 103. Yeah. And he was in Cannes and he spoke with people, he was on the scene for the festival. So that's wonderful for us. It's wonderful. In a certain way, one could say, because he does something, he gives a meaning to this long, very long life. But it is not because he is more than 100 that there is more meaning in his life. No, more than the life of, I don't remember the age where Mozart, where Schumann, where poets, and so many people died. Well, so it was a detour from the point that the mystery is everywhere. Is everywhere, I would say, where there is no longer question of unveiling or revealing a secret, the last secret. Because when the secret is revealed, there is no longer mystery. the mystery is everywhere where there is no secret, or even where we could say, and I think it was a sentence of Derrida, where the secret is that there is no secret. That is, there is nothing to unveil or to reveal. And if there is nothing to unveil, that is nothing, that is not a thing, not something that we could take, grasp, and take into a meaning, a signification. But this is not nothing at all. There is a huge and very important difference between nothing, not a thing, and the nothingness, if you are, or the néant, I say néant, I say nothingness, I think.
It's nothingness, yeah.
Hmm?
Nothingness is the translation from the...
Yes, nothingness, yes. So, yes, this is that, between nothing and nothingness. Because nothing, so we have to take it in that way, nothing is not a thing, not an object, not a position into being, but in that meaning, no thing can be something else than a thing. No thing is not necessarily the nothingness, that is emptiness, but something else than the thing. What is else than the thing? At first, there is something very simple, which is not a thing. That is what is between the things. That is first the open space. Of course, physical open space is still a thing. There is air between those things. A lot of things are here, a lot of atoms and particles and that's but a part of the physical description of the so-called things, and even there, because the physics of the very beginning of the world, the matter of the Big Bang, and even now before the Big Bang, is the physics of relation, not only of things, but of the relation through a void, an emptiness of the thing. So there is nothing, or there are things which are not things. Things which are not terms or position, or neither objects nor subjects, I would say. Things like precisely the movement, the emotion, and of somebody tracing a line, or singing, or dancing, or looking at, or coming in presence, presenting himself or herself. In a certain way, there is no thing there. there is nothing other than the, nothing else than the relation between things. And then I think I can make a step forward to Christian mystery, because our modern civilization, culture, takes mystery, takes war mystery, and the idea of mystery in a very special way with Christianity. Like the whole idea of religion and of God and of all become something quite different with Christianity, with monotheism in general, in Western and in Eastern, almost at the same time with Buddhism, with the Reformation, the Hindu religion, something not the same, but with important analogies started. So I think this is something very important which makes the turn of the history of mankind. And now this is something which is given through, for us in Western, through Christianity, belongs to the whole culture. You will perhaps better understand what I mean a little later. What becomes mystery in Christianity? You know, there are big, at least three big mystery. Mystery, the first is the mystery of the Trinity, second the mystery of incarnation, third the mystery of redemption. And in addition, other smaller mystery, especially the mystery linked to the Virgin Maria, the mystery of her virginity, precisely. And well, but what is the mystery in Christianity? At first glance, I think many people would say, yes, this is a secret of God. Yes, God is not one, he is three, and that is special to Christianity. And gives us also new criticism in Judaism and Islam. And God become man. So that's all is a secret. God is able to do things we are unable to understand and even less able to make ourselves. But what is at stake with those mysteries? If you look a little more close to them, first you see that to take only the three mysteries, Trinity, Incarnation, Redemption, those three mysteries are a story. They tell a story. The story of the God, which is the one in three persons, and the same God same one of the person, but one of the person means the entire God, not in the shape of man, but as a man. It becomes flesh. And end of the story, he saves the whole mankind from his status of sin. So, first, this is a story. The story, I would say, is a story of stories, because it starts with the Trinity. And the Trinity is certainly the most difficult and at the same time maybe the most, in certain way, philosophical, metaphysical mystery of Christianism. The Trinity, I tell it a story because it is not the position of three gods. Absolutely not. There are not three gods. This is what is so difficult to understand and unacceptable, for example, for Islam, because in Islam there's a sense of the not only the unity and the unicity of God, but of such a unity and unicity that it is so far from any representation, even from any representation of the unity and unicity, that you simply can say nothing about him, to God. So I would say to Muslim, you even don't know if your God, which is so unique and one in itself, you even don't know if this unity is not a triple one. I know what the Muslim will answer to me, but there are. No, I'm serious. There are in certain Muslim tradition, like by certain Sufi and by Ibn Arabi, and more than by any other in Hallaj, but who was condemned by the Islamic priest for that. There are traces or means to go toward something like Trinity. Nevertheless, I think that we could say many things about that, but that's not my purpose. But I just let you notice that there are three monotheism, and that maybe inside each of them it is possible to distinguish again three ways. In Christianism, we have Catholicism, Protestantism, and Orthodoxy. Orthodoxy is the meaning of the Orthodox churches. But to stay with the Trinity. What is the Trinity? The Trinity, to say that in one word, Trinity is not that there are three gods, not even three persons. I know the ordinary formula is one God in three persons. But what means person? Of course, it doesn't mean three distinguished subjects. And even Augustine, in his treatise on Trinity, which is a huge treatise of 300-400 pages, because the thing is so difficult, and it is the most impressive book of Augustine. Augustine doesn't like the name person, and he takes it when he cannot do another way, but he says we have to be careful because it is dangerous to use the word person and like more the Greek word hypostasis. So, it's not three gods, not three persons, not three subjects, but, and not one subject with different qualities or properties, then one. Augustine tried to explain that. He explained. I will not develop for you the entire treatise of Augustine because it would be a little boring and it's very, very long and complicated. But I think I can say the most important in this way. This is the way, so Trinity is the way any subject, that is any, not any subject as a person, as a human person, but of course for understand that I have to go through the human being because I have nothing else to try to understand something. And I know only that the human being is the image of God, according to the Bible. And he goes from that. Well, any subject did anything, if it is not simply posited as equal to itself and nothing else, which is like not to be. And so if you take something and without its use, of course, if I take this thing as use is to open a TV or something, okay. But besides the use, I take the thing is equal to itself, okay, and then nothing. The pure position of something is equal to nothing. The one, as says Hegel, of course, not Augustine who quotes Hegel, the one is its own negation. Only one, you pose one, it's nothing. If it is a subject in one way or another, the subject has to be expressed, to be presented. Of course, if it is this kind of subject of thing, it is to be presented by another thing, by a human being, which says, this is, I don't know what's the name, tele something. But it has to be presented, not only posited, but presented. So, in order for something, any kind of thing, in order to be, it has to be presented, to be expressed. And so, says Augustine, the only being of God, simply as God, as equal to himself, is nothing until it is expressed as such, and it is expressed as such as its own verbum. In Latin, verbum is a translation of the same use of logos, and logos, you know, is a name that John takes at the beginning of his gospel. the logos of God, or God has its own logos. That is, God, it is simply that God expresses himself, itself. And of course, if you imagine the God without expressing himself, then God is equal to a stone. This is precisely what the whole criticism about the idols means in the whole monotheistic tradition. The idols are not the false gods. The idols is the way of taking something, a stone, tree, mountain, or a statue, as being God in itself, as simply posited. I say, here is my God. And this is why the Bible says, your idols, they have eye and don't see, they have a mouth and don't speak, and they can't move, etc. And you can't build a statue with a lot of gold and jewels and that. And it will be the same. It will not see, not speak. So the idea of the only God is precisely the idea of God expressing himself. And then we have already two, the Father and the Son. Because the Son is not, and Augustine is very precise, he said that the Son is not engendered like the Son in mankind, or like a biological generation. So it is not exactly a generation. Augustine has a lot of difficulty with words, and he said it's not a generation, is an expression, is a verbum of God. But why? Why the verbum? Why the expression, if not by a certain kind of will or desire of God to express himself? Three. The desire, this will, is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. And then Augustine says that is what we can experience in ourselves with the Trinity, and he calls it a Trinity of, he says, memory, understanding, and will. Memory, because memory is the place and the way where are the already given things. For us it is the past. God as the Father is the already given unity and unicity. Always already given. As it was, or as it is from the eternity that is out of time. The will to express itself is the will to become an expression, become logos or verbum. And then we have the Trinity. The only difference between the human Trinity, memory, understanding, and will, and the divine Trinity, is Augustine, is that for us there is a difference of time and psychological difference between memory, understanding, and will. And in God, the three are the same, not at the same time, but are out of time and out of place, out of differences between things like psychological faculties. So they are the same, and the same is this unity of the triple unity of God. Then it remains, of course, it remains there a kind of separate. What is this difference which makes that we understand all the thing about the subject, expressing itself, and willing the expression? And I forget to say that, of course, the expression in return will be the expression of the subject. So the spirit goes in aller-retour, two ways. So there is still the difference, and the difference is probably what makes the mystery of the three in one, because in myself I experience the three dimensions, but I experience them with a difference between them. At the same time, I know in a way that I am one. Or better, I experience that my thought experience itself as being one and the same as something or a subject, its expression and its will to express itself. But there is, and here I have to say, I go a little step further than Augustine, further that is out of religion, that is at the very point where Augustine says, there we have to be in the faith, and through the faith to believe that God is precisely this unity, this absolute unity we cannot grasp in ourselves. At this very point, he says as well something else. It's not at the same place in the text, but there is something else that he states several times in the text. That is that our thought, the human thought, is able to think even over itself. I can think not something which is beyond my capacity of thinking, but I can think that there is a beyond of my capacity of ability to think. So the human thought or thinking is not something, is once again motion, movement, going beyond itself, going beyond what is its own limit. And then the faith is not that much the confidence that there is some secret of God I don't know, but I have to believe it. Why? Because it is written in the Holy Bible, and no. Of course, there are parts in Augustine I have to believe because it is written, but it is written not written by God, but written under the motion and the inspiration and the spirit of God. So even the argument that I have to believe because it is written comes back to God. It is not because it is written in Homer, because for Augustine, Homer, not Homer, because no, I'm wrong, because he didn't, Homer is translated lately, Augustine didn't know the Greek, but Saint Virgil, I have not to believe what is written there. So I have to believe in writing which is related to God. So I cannot believe if I cannot have a certain kind of access to what is called God. So that you said there is a circle. It is not the Holy Bible is to be believed because it is the Holy Bible, because the Holy Bible means that it is the Spirit of God. So to understand it and to believe it, I have to understand something about the Spirit of God. And the Spirit of God, or better, God as its own spirit, and its own spirit as the relationship within the very subject, God, or the very person, God, maybe is nothing else than the relationship of every subject, everywhere. That is, and of course, now this is my interpretation, this is, if you want, archaeologic, to speak with Bataille, interpretation, that is, God is no thing. God is not a person, is not three persons, is not either one person somewhere having some very special and strange and mysterious property to be three. No. God, or divine, divinity, is the way everything enter in relationship with itself and at the same time with other things. I want to add that when I say that this is a way of grasping something from Augustine in a non-ecclesiastic, non-religious, and even atheist way, it's true, of course. But try to read the treatise of Augustine on the Trinity. Yeah, please, try. Besides of the difficulties, I'm sure you cannot not be in trouble. And ask yourself, but where is the Christianity of this Augustine? He pays so much attention to all what I described you, but you described that for pages and pages. And he insists so much about this possibility for human thinking to have an access beyond itself, that it is very difficult not to think that in a way that I cannot explain, because the difference of age of society are so big that so we cannot reduce that. But it is difficult not to think that Augustine was in his time, maybe I would say in a very naive way, much more modern, if you want, than we would imagine. And especially absolutely not believing in God as in some being, super being somewhere. Absolutely not. If and we know that by other texts of Augustine, if there is something that Augustine knows, and which has been so important so all the history of Christianity, it is that God is, as he says in the Confessions, and not in the De Trinitate, that is that God is interior intimo meo et superior sumo meo. That is, God is more internal to my, more internal, is more internal than my intimacy, and the intimacy is the superlative of interior, intimus, that is the most internal. So God is more internal than the most internal. This is a comparative to a superlative. And superior sumo meo, that is, God is higher than my highest highness. That is, that Augustine knows God as my own, I would say my own overpassing, or yes, my own dépassement, dépasser, overpass, yeah?
Surpass.
Surpassing, my own surpassing. God is the own surpassing of man, and I would say of the entire world. Well, if the thing is really as I try to say, that means that the mystery of Trinity is precisely not a secret, is not a hidden thing we would have to unveil, or which would unveil itself. But the mystery is the fact that there is this movement, this, I would say, this perpetual movement and motion of surpassing the given thing. In a way, nothing else than that. And then, what is called revelation in Christianity and so in the whole monotheism, the fact that there is the revelation is not an unveiling of something, despite the fact that revelation is made with the same word as unveiling, the velum, velare, the veil. But the revelation is the fact that I would say that something reveals itself, not unveiling a secret, but starting to act, entering the action, the motion to be. What is it? You know, we say, I think in a familiar way, that somebody reveals himself or herself by doing that and that. This is something the teacher says from a student. A student was not particularly brilliant or so, and he reveals himself or herself because what? Because it is not a secret which was hidden, but the person starts to act in a way and starts to become himself or herself. In a way, we would say we all do that. We reveal ourselves, and we have nothing hidden in the back to unveil. We have nothing else than the fact that we all are each one, and no more. And for this one, we have nothing else than a proper name, and the proper name has no signification. But the proper name acts, does something or something. In a certain extent, it is possible to say with Hegel, man is the entire theory of his or her act, or action, or acting. And there is nothing hidden behind that. So I think the Christian meaning of mystery is I would say is something like if the process of the antique mystery is a process of an initiation to something has become the process of an initiation without end of the whole mankind. We are initiating ourselves infinitely, and to what? And precisely to the fact that we are initiating ourselves infinitely to the infinity itself. This is maybe what makes a lot of difficulties for us today. But this is the reason for what I think we are no longer able to go toward something like joining a final signification as a God, or as the end of a history, or as an ideal of man, total man, or as a man becoming nature. The phrase of Marx, the history of nature becomes the history of man, and the history of man becomes the history of nature. No, we are facing a process without end. But what we have to learn is that the without end is not to be taken in the meaning of what Hegel calls the bad infinite. That is, it will go all the time further, each time something more, something else, which is dispiriting. And then what do we do with death? When it comes to death, where is the one more? This is perhaps why we are so ambiguous with a longer life, because we think, one day more, maybe it will be better, 1 year more, one what more. No, but we are facing an infinite process in the not in the way of going indefinitely to war, but of entering right now at each moment, I would say, infinite itself.